What would you say is the best diet to boost GLP-1 naturally and lose fat?
Yeah, so foods that provide satiety or have the highest satiety effect are the ones that you're going to want to reach for. High protein foods always rank the highest. So anything that's very high in protein will give you more satiety, generally speaking, than foods that are high in carbohydrates or fats. So this is why one of the main pieces of advice that we'll give when it comes to diet on my podcast is try to hit your target body weight in protein and eat it first. That's it. In fact, there's 2 dietary rules that I will tell people, and I go as far as say this, and I'll repeat this anytime somebody asks me. If you just follow these 2 rules, the high odds are that you will, over time, eventually fall within a healthy body fat percentage. What does that look like for men? Probably between 14 to 16% body fat, maybe, give or take a percent. For women, you're probably going to be in the low 20s with body fat percentage if you just did these 2 things and you were just consistent with them. And it starts with avoiding ultra-processed foods and hitting your target body weight in grams of protein and eating it first. That's it. If you did those 2 things, your appetite, your cravings, it all falls within this kind of natural, what's good for you amount of caloric or energy intake. Okay. So hyperpalatable foods or ultra-processed foods, they just make you overeat. And we've talked about that many times on your show. They're engineered to do so. The data on those is the best studies on food are those because they have really good control studies where they cross the groups over and it's like, they make you overeat, everybody. That's just what they do. So
very clear.
Cut that out. Then eat your target body weight in grams of protein. That's a lot of protein, everybody. So if your target body weight as a female is 120 pounds, which is you're a small woman, so most women probably closer to 140, 150 pounds, that's a lot of protein. That's like 30 to 50 grams of protein for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when I say this, people are like, okay, I'll eat high protein. It's like, no, actually see what that is, eat that first, and watch what happens to your appetite. It zaps your appetite. So, you want to have 30 grams of protein for breakfast. It's not 2 eggs. It's like 6 eggs, 7 eggs, right? It's like 7 ounces of meat for lunch and for dinner. And that does a lot when it comes to appetite. And what's cool about this, Max, is it's not a fat loss diet. It's not a muscle building diet. It's both. This is what's great about this is it will naturally, based on your body's natural signals, you will eat enough to fuel strength gains and performance gains in the gym, and you will also not eat too much to where you gain body fat. In fact, you'll eat where you'll lose body fat for most people. Okay, so if you're underweight, you'll actually go up in weight. If you're overweight, you'll go down in weight, and it brings you in this kind of natural. Just those 2 rules right there. But the protein one's a big one. Now, over time, the satiety effects of protein start to fall. But it takes a while. It takes like a year for that powerful satiety effect to really start to kind of wane a little bit. But by that point, you're there. Like you're doing great. You're built muscle. If you're strength training, which you probably do, your body fat percentage is kind of following. And it's cool, Max. I talk about this so often now on my show. We've made the point so well and so consistently that people are doing it, and you should see the messages we get. Especially from women. I think women have a tougher time with this because it's like they're constantly bombarded with information that's like, you're overweight, eat less, do this, that. And so like, okay, fine. I'm just going to trust you guys. I'm going to follow this. And then they'll write in and be like, I didn't believe it. I followed it. And I can't believe, I feel like I'm eating a ton. My body looks totally different. I'm strong. My body shape has changed. Like I have lots of energy. And all I did was those 2 things that you told me. I mean, that's it. Because once you eat that target protein and you stick to kind of whole foods, I don't care what you eat after that. So you eat your 40 grams of protein, eat it first. I'd like to have some potatoes or some rice or some fruit. All right, Go for it. Eat until you're satisfied.
Yeah.
Watch what happens.
I feel like historically men have been a lot more protein conscious. And then a lot of the messaging that I see aimed towards women tends to be like prioritize fiber, eat more fiber.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some truth. Well, there's a reason for that. Women tend to have slower, they tend, if anyone's going to have issues with, slow digestion or let's say constipation, it's women. That's a hormonal thing. So that's why when women will talk about digestive issues, they'll typically talk about constipation or bloating. And the right kind of fiber will help with that. Fiber, I'm glad you brought that up. So protein is at the highest for satiety. What's underneath that? Fiber. So it goes protein, fiber, then it's fat, carbs, starches. So fiber helps a lot with satiety. And so people are always like, what's a good source of fiber? I love berries. I love berries for that. You get a cup of berries, you've got yourself a decent amount of fiber and some good low glycemic index carbohydrates, very nutrient dense. They're delicious. It's one of my favorite sources. But yeah, aim for fiber would be next if you were to ask me what's the third thing.
Yeah, I feel like more men would probably benefit on average from eating more fiber, and women on average would probably benefit from eating more protein.
Because of the messaging?
Yeah, because of the messaging, the crisscrossing of the messaging. The same way that like more men would probably benefit from not skipping leg day, whereas that's all that women do, and many women would probably benefit from putting more of an emphasis on more of a focus on their upper bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, so
yogis would probably benefit more from strength training.
Yeah, strength training from yoga.
People just tend to like live in their silos.
Yeah, you're right. But generally speaking, if I'm communicating differently to men and women, it has more to do with the behaviors than it does to the like specifics. It's typically the behavior. So for women, oftentimes, although it's changing, Max, I have a 15-year-old. She's actually about to turn 16. In fact, I went to go look at getting a car for her the other day.
Big milestone.
Yeah, scary milestone. It's so funny. So she's 16. She's just starting to get into working out, and she's interested in building, which is telling me that the messaging's finally getting to women. Because, for most of my career, I had to convince women to like build muscle, and I had to like really do a good job of selling it to them. And I think the younger generation is starting to figure it out that building muscle is like the best way to get lean and the best way to get the body that you're looking for. But generally speaking, I'm talking to women about, hey, you got to eat sufficient amount of calories to fuel the performance and to get the goals you want. And then with men, the conversation is, typically like, eat healthy, don't overtrain, and don't lift weight that makes your form looks terrible. Type of deal. Don't hurt yourself.
That makes sense.
Hey, if you like that video, you need to check out this one here, and I'll see you there.